Hey now, Nettie here. How are ya? Hopefully you are great, as am I. Hopefully this has been a great week for you and prosperous, or hopefully you can recognize how prosperous it's been, because I guarantee you that by virtue of the fact that you are still in the land of the living, as some of the elders would say, that's a good sign. That's a sign that things have gone quite all right. But I wanted to get on here. There have been a number of transitions. I have a couple videos by now about transition and how death helps you to live and that kind of thing. But I want to talk about the pain. I want to talk about some of the things we don't often recognize are happening when we are grieving. You are not yourself. You are not the self that you once knew you to be. Things have changed. It's not for nothing that they call it a life altering event, because your life is 100% altered. You are completely different. Everything is completely different. All that you knew yourself to be was in association with and attached to that person living. And it's so important for you to know that. It's so important for you to know that there is a rediscovery that has to take place. You have to find who you are again on this side of things without that person's physical presence. And that's so key and so important. A lot of times we don't know what to do with grief. We don't know how to process grief. We don't know anything about it really. And that makes it much more difficult for us than it has to be. But it's also necessary. It is a necessary part of life. Spirit was saying to me about this message whenever I was first getting it again. Sometimes your loved one has to go in order that you might live, in order that you might continue to grow. Their presence doesn't allow you to grow. Their physical presence doesn't allow you to grow in the capacity that is necessary for your next place in life. And that sounds like a very tough message. But the beautiful part about that is that they are there championing you on, rooting for you, and helping you to navigate in ways that they never could in their physical presence. They are in their most pure form at this point, and they are more able and best able to assist you on your journey after they've transitioned. I know that that's not the thing that we're taught about death. Hell, we're not taught anything about this transition. That is what makes it so difficult. And you have access to them still because they have not gone anywhere. Their physical being is not present in its form that you are familiar with, but they are present still. Energy is continuous, it does not go anywhere. Can it be transmuted? Can it be transformed? Absolutely. It can take on different forms, but it's neither created nor destroyed. And with that said, that just means that they are ever present. And that's something that you should keep in mind. And your loved ones always want you to know that they are around, and that is what you feel most heavily. Once they've made this transition and you begin to feel that ache in your heart, it's really just them letting you know that they are there, even though it feels like pain to you. you're interpreting it initially as pain and as hurt because that is the closest piece of resonance that you have in association with this event that's taking place, this loss. And that's okay. That's okay. It is okay, and it absolutely is necessary for you to feel your feelings. I would be remiss to tell you that you don't often get hemmed up by those emotions. You do, and especially at the start, that shit sucks. Transition is very difficult, especially when it's someone that is very close to you. But I encourage you to get some help from someone who understands transition in any capacity better than you do, as far as a therapist, a grief counselor more specifically. They can help you to navigate. It is very necessary just because we don't have the slightest clue on some of the things that take place. But it is a very delicate place to be. You should not make any hasty decisions at this time. Do not make important decisions at this time. This is not the time for that. You need some time, and I'm not talking about a week, and I'm not talking about a month. You need some time before you start making real life decisions. I do not get into any relationships during this time. None of that. There is also something to be aware of. It is grief induced depression. That is very possible in what they consider to be a normal thing. But just know that it's something that takes place. You are spirit, but you are also man. Man undergoes physical things, emotional things that are specific and natural to man. And if it were not supposed to be so, it would not. You have emotions for a reason, and you're still supposed to explore them. And you don't have to do this trying to do this with a brave face. You do not have to put up a facade as if everything is okay. It is fucking not okay for a long time at first. It is not. The shit don't feel okay. You are fucked up at first. The good news is that that measure of intensity does go away some. It does. And it don't feel like it ever will at first. It absolutely fucking sucks at first. But if you can just keep on pushing and just keep on sitting with those emotions, keep on feeling them, and that's gonna seem like the worst fucking advice at first because it hurts. It's painful. The thing that we're most often taught and we learn so easily and early is to get away from the pain. There is no escaping this measure of pain. The more you try, the worse off you will be. The more painful it'll be, and the longer the intensity lasts. You want that intensity to let up off of you a bit at some point. You do not want to try to bury this. You want to face it head on. All the crying you need to do, all of the venting to someone you know, love, and trust, you need to. Somebody is going to be able to hold space for you and love on you and nurture you and hold your heart during this very difficult time. Allow them to. Be vulnerable, be open, accept and allow all that help. Not only do you deserve it, but you're worthy of it. You cannot be the person who is there for everyone else and no one can be there for you. During this time, let people be there for you, especially people that are helpful and that are going to actually nurture you and nourish you and hold space for you during this time. Also, somebody who understands and knows that you are different. You're going to be different. You're going to present different. It may be some lashing out sometimes, but I mean, you still have a measure of control to some degree. Um, don't allow it to be an excuse to be going real wild. But sometimes you'll pop off a little bit. Sometimes you'll find that you are a little bit more frustrated and a little bit more annoyed and agitated than you normally would be. Sometimes you're going to respond to shit wildly in a way that you wouldn't previously have because this is grief. Grief has many faces. It has many faces, and you don't know them. Death of some, you experience this grief in a number of different ways depending upon how close you were to the person that transitioned. And it's so important to know that not every grief situation is the same. Not everybody's grief situation is the same. Some of the characteristics are very similar. So maybe for some, like if it was a grandmother, you may not feel as intensely as you would if it was a sibling. Or you may not feel as intensely if it was a grandparent as you would if it was a parent. Those relationships are significantly different, and however the people that show up the most for you and had the most significant places in your life, however your relationship was with them is the measure of intensity that you often feel this loss. And you do for a little while feel lost. Shit, you are lost for a little while. It is kind of like you slip into this unknown place. It's kind of like a void. You don't know what's going on. You're trying to understand it, but the pain makes it hard for you to see, for you to hear, for you to feel, for you to think. Just relax. Just sit down somewhere, lay down somewhere, and allow your body to go through what it's going to go through. Allow your mind to go through what it's going to go through. It's going to go through some shit. It's when they say that there are stages, there are stages to grief, and they are cyclic stages. It's a loop. For a minute, it's a loop, and you fucking going through it. But that's okay. It don't feel okay. It feels like shit, but that's also okay. You are allowed to feel the full range of your emotions. And don't try to this depending upon your relationship, this is not one of those things where you think yourself away from whatever you feel. You gotta fucking feel it. That's the only way through it. And the more you try to work through stuff by doing more stuff and trying not to think about it, listen, that shit is not gonna help. Depending on the closeness of that relationship, if you were really close to that person, that shit is not gonna help. Unless you want to be all out in the public or, doing stuff and breaking down, you better sit with that shit. You don't want that to be your situation. Those emotions will deal with you. They will. Um But it's not for nothing. It's a part of you that's opening up. It's a breaking that is taking happen, and it, listen, trust that I know. That is what qualifies me to be able to sit before you on this day, this 24th day of July, and let you know that this shit sucks, and there's some more sucky shit that comes along with it, but it is a breaking, and you'll never fully understand per se why it happened this way or why it had to have happened this way, but there is something that you learn in death that nothing else can teach you. It's different for all of us, but a lot of times this close relational transition is a place in our lives. It's placed at a point in our lives where we are awakening. And as we are awakening, we require movement specific to where we're getting to. And unfortunately, sometimes this is the movement that gets us there. I'll leave all of that because I don't, okay. That part was necessary to say, but we're going to leave it right there because this is not a message that needs to go any deeper than you feeling what you feel. Beyond Spirit is just saying, do not make any hasty decisions. Do not make any important decisions. Do not get into any relationships right now if you are not, or if you were not in a relationship already. Don't do it. You are not thinking clearly. I know you think you are. I know that you probably, feel like you're the strongest ever in the world. You are not. The perception is off. The perception is off. It may seem like it's still working and functioning properly. It's not. I promise you, it is not. Just stay away from hasty decisions, important decisions, especially if they can be like life changing or life altering in relationships. Mm-mm. Don't do it. Those are just do not make any rash decisions right now. Do not make any because I promise you they're gonna feel like they're the best decisions to make at the time. But they really are not. They really are not. Anyway, it's a lot attached to this message, and Spirit has been telling me for a couple weeks now that I'll be recording this video at some point. It is quite the year. It is a very lucrative year. It is an amazing year. It is, though, the number of nine. The number nine is a death and rebirth number. It is a transformation number. But no, everything works out for your good. Not one thing happens to you. Everything happens for you, and everything happens through you. There is a plan for this too. This too will work out in your favor. Take your time. Take your time. And it may seem odd to some of you, is what Spirit is saying, that you feel this way due to a certain transition. I want to say, even you've felt it strange, or you felt it odd that you felt this way because maybe you feel this way about celebrities, or the celebrities that maybe you've grown up with. It's not unusual. The connection was for a reason, and whatever the connection was, whatever reasoning that connection was there, is the reason why you're also receiving this message, because you are processing in a way that it's important for you to know and understand some of these things. But more so than even that, this message, in its duality, it is a timeless message. So whenever it finds you and it's for you. And I'd imagine that it will resonate for you, and you'll know if it's for you or if it's not at whatever point it finds you. But it feels like more so an actual relative or a friend of the family that was adopted into the family, and you've considered them always as a loved one. Either way, no matter the relationship, these are just things that you have to know about this grief process. Whenever I was going through with my therapist at the time, my brother's transition, uh, it was such a tough time for me. It was such a tough time. And really, I feel that energy right now. I feel like that is the energy that I'm picking up on in the spirit, that it is wrecking some of you like it wrecked me. And just know it is going to be okay. There are no words that are able to console you. There's nothing that generally makes it better. Nothing that I say, nothing that anybody says. There's nothing that anybody can say that eases this pain in any way. They try, they want to allow them to, but everybody knows that it's a pain that words can't fix. But that said, you can maybe look this up, and I'm trying to think about what it was called, but maybe grief ball. Anyway, my therapist gave me this method to use to kind of communicate the my mindset, or not even my mindset, but my kind of like my pain level when I was dealing with the ones that I loved, or the people that would be so often around me. So I just tell them, I have them read what it is about, and then kind of we go from there on a daily basis. So with this, it's like, if I recall it correctly, there is a square with a ball inside, and the way your grief is measured is with the ball that is inside. And at the most intense level, it's the ball is consuming majority of the capacity of the square. And so you say, at that rate, the ball is big today, which lets the other person know that you are struggling, that ball, like that grief is consuming you at that time, as a means just to be able to express how you feel, right? And even at times I can recall going back and just dealing with people and just not being able to really just function, right? And I would just have to be like, listen, the ball is big today, which ultimately means that I need to be somewhere by myself, helping myself. Um, and if you don't, grief will take over. Like you either gonna be a crying mess or you're gonna be on a rampage, an angry one, perhaps. And neither are necessary. And even like not necessary, but like you don't want to be on a hostile, mad rampage. That's not how you're gonna get through this the easiest. But if you can pull back, separate yourself a bit, just surround yourself with some people that kind of understand where you are, that would be extremely helpful. Right. You're not gonna you're not gonna feel like doing shit sometimes. But if you can muster up some strength, what I would do was I would feel like shit and I wouldn't feel like writing. So I would voice record or do speech to text in my OneNote so that I could capture the sentiment of how I was feeling and just get those thoughts out of me because sometimes it gets dark. I will not hold you. Those were the darkest days of my life. Listen, I get this. I get if there are few things that I get more than this. I understand this way more fully than I ever desired to. And I imagine it was to be right here in this moment, giving this message to somebody else who is struggling behind grief. So here we are. Here we are. Me tired, me feeling the weight of the emotions from the collective, but just here still very happily to be here for you and let you know that the lights do come back on at some point. They do. If you can just work through the hard shit right now, the lights do come on again. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Shit does turn around. And it's okay to not be okay for right now. Just go on knowing that you will be all right. Things are going to be okay. And you have somebody out here that has experienced it, that knows, and you can take their word for it. But I encourage you to maybe Google like grief ball to see if that gets the result for this article that I'm thinking of. It's really not that long. It's just them telling you essentially when you tell people, how you feel or whatever, you can tell them the ball is small or the ball is big or whatever. And it kind of gives you some inference about what is taking place with that so that you can kind of have that visual and that means of expressing without having to go into all the detail about every single thing on how you feel at the time. But yeah, get you some rest. Cry it out if you got to, and then go on and go to sleep for a number of days, for all the days you feel like it. And at this time, it would be a perfect time to get with a grief counselor. so they can help you navigate such hard, harsh, and dark feelings. I know that you think that you can do it on your own and you feel like you can, and there's no doubt the Spirit will lead you through it, but it would free up a whole lot of mental space for you to go ahead and get with someone to help work through this. Honey, I did not think I was going to make it through that shit. I felt like I 100% could understand how people die from a broken heart. I was fucked up about it. And if you can believe it, and the wildest part about it is that I could not see myself being happy ever again after that. Now look at me. I'm living my best life ever. And it's only getting better. It keeps on getting better. I never listen. I If you would have told me that, I would have told you it was a fucking lie in your face, just looking you right dead in your eyes. At that point, I didn't even want to be happy. It felt odd. It felt not okay to be okay when he was no longer here. Anyway, I hope that this message helps you, and that it feels like love, and that you receive it and do all the things that are necessary to help yourself through this new journey. Anyway, I leave you this message in love and in light. Uh, Go on and be great. Be great. As great as you possibly can at this time. I love you and I wish you the best. For sure. For sure. Um, like, share, subscribe, all that. If you're new, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. Yeah.